Good morning, everybody. So I've been getting into knitting recently. So I just recently knitted a scarf, and it was my first ever scarf, but it turned out pretty well if you ask me. And it was really fun actually to do that. So my mum bought me this, and it's a blanket knitting kit. As you can see here, it's a beginner one, and I have already opened it. I didn't do this, it came like that when we got it, when we picked it up. Which is a shame, but the actual kit itself was fine, so it's neither here nor there. So it comes in this really pretty box, and as I said, I have started it already, so as you can see here, and it's quite nice fabric, to be honest. It's really quite soft, and because this is a blanket, then that is really quite useful. So you get 6 balls of wool, so you get these this colour, which I think is like slate grey or something. You get the knitting needles, of course the pair, and then these 2 colours as well, so you get 2 balls of each colour. And it also comes with this manual, so shows you like different 2 different stitches, how to start and how to end the blanket, so how you get the wool initially on the needles, and then at the end when you've finished, how to take it off. And it also teaches you how to change the colour, and that is primarily why I got this kit, because I don't know how to do that. So I would like to learn, and this is a really nice way of doing it. So it gives you the instructions on here, and this is the scarf that you're going to be making, and it tells you the size of it, so 98 by 110 centimeters. And yeah, so this is it, which is cool. And it also came with a needle, so it's like a wool needle, I think. So this is used for tidying up the loose threads at the end. So when you finish knitting, then you end up with like tassely bits. So from where I've started it, you can see that there's, where is it? There's a tassely bit somewhere there. So this is going to be at the bottom corner of the blanket, so this bit. So you use that needle, you thread it on to here, and then you kind of like sew it in. And it does tell you how to do that in the manual as well, so that's really useful. And yeah, so this is going to be a tiny little review of how to do this, and hopefully it's okay. So far it's been really cool. It is a lot more difficult to knit with this wool compared to the one I was using before, and that's just because it is thicker, and when you look at it, it's got kind of like 4 threads, so you just have to make sure that when you're putting the needle up through it, then you get the whole kind of thread as a unit sort of thing. But yeah, I really like it. It's really nice and soft, so it'd be really great just as a trial for a first go, or if you had a little baby or a toddler or something, or even just for yourself. I'm going to be using this for myself. Hopefully at uni, if I finish it by then, or if I go camping, which I do quite enjoy doing. So yeah, I'll let you guys know how it goes. But so far, so good. Hello, so we're at the end of the final row. So now we've got to, I think they call it cast off, I think is what they call it, which is when you kind of end your scarf or blanket or whatever you're knitting. So I've only ever done this once, so we'll see if I remember how to do it. If not, I'll have to get my mum's. I'll have to go and get my mum's assistance. So you'd knit 2, and then I think, is it the first? Oh, is it? Look at some rules. Yeah. So then you hook on one, the first thing. Yeah, like that. This is actually really cack-handed, and I found it quite difficult the first time as well, but it's fine. It's just kind of something that I think it's one of those things where it's just kind of like practice makes perfect, and you just kind of got to practice it. But yeah, the whole knitting process of this blanket has been really quite good. It's very straightforward, and the wool is quite easy to use. It's a little bit fiddly when you have to change colours, but I don't think that's anything in particular with the wool. It's just the nature of changing colours. So that's really cool, and I'm quite grateful to have been able to use this. Hello, Jerry. I think the cat's going to join us in a second. I can hear him. He's just up. Yeah, I know. Come on then. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and it's quite a cool little project if you are starting out knitting and you want to make a really cute blanket. It's really nice. So I'm going to finish off this. Jerry is going to join us. Come on then. Come on then. You probably can hear him. But yeah, so I'll finish this and then we'll just tie in the ends. Excuse me. So we're at the end. It says to leave 3 meters, give or take, which I did, and you can see how much I've got left. So I would suggest you leave 4 meters because it's very tight, and we still need to finish the last stitch, which I don't really know how to do. Remove it from the needle and make a stitch loop bigger and gently pulling on it. I think you just have to, Jerry, he's not helping. Yeah, so you're supposed to take it off the needle, make the stitch loop bigger by gently pulling on it, snip the yarn, pull the tail through the loop. Okay, so I think you just literally just put it through there like that and tie it. So this is all that we've got left. It's, what, 8 inches? So it is perfectly lengthed, and I would tidy up all of the edges if Jerry wasn't making biscuits or kneading or whatever people like to call this nowadays. So he's a very cozy boy, and we've definitely got his approval for the blanket. It's very soft, so I can understand why he likes it so much. So he's already christened it as his, which is fine, he can have it. And yeah, so I'll do that once Jerry has left the blanket and vacated the space. But for now, we'll leave it as it is, and then we'll finish the ends in a bit. So it's actually getting quite late here. It's 11 p.m. and it's time to go to bed, near enough. So we might revisit this in the morning, depending how long it takes JJ to settle himself. So yeah, I'll be back to tidy the ends. So good morning. It's the next day and I have the blanket ready, and it's finally time to tidy up the ends. So what we're going to do is use the needle, and it took me a little while to get it onto the end of the thread just because the wool is so thick. So yeah, so the front, we're going to go on the back side of it, which is the one where it has like these kind of joins, and then just kind of thread it through the stitches that are already there, and it just hides them so it looks a bit cleaner. And at the same time, it also then makes sure that the thread isn't going to come undone, which would obviously not be very good. So we're just going to thread this through, and then we'll do that with all of them, and then the blanket will be finished and I'll show you the finished product. But yeah, so this bit is actually really easy. The hardest bit is, in my opinion, getting this actually on the needle, because the eye of the needle is so thin and the thread is so thick. But it is what it is. So yeah, we're just going to do that, and then I'll show you the finished product. So this is what you end up with. I'm just going to find a pair of scissors to trim this bit, but that's what you end up with. So you can't really see it unless you're looking for it. And then on the other side, again, you can't really see it unless you're looking for it. It's a little bit tighter, but that's fine. But yeah, so I'm going to do this with the rest of them, and then the blanket will be finished and I can give it to Jerry. So I'm going to get some scissors, finish first, and I'll show you the finished product. Hello, so this here is the final product. So we've finished the blanket and all the edges have been tied up, and yeah, so you can see it's pretty big. It's kind of like my arm span if you kind of stretch it a little bit, and then again this way around. So it's a pretty substantial size, as you can see, and it's lovely. It's very soft. It's a little bit stretchy, as you can see. Obviously you don't want to stretch it too much, we would damage it. And I'm really chuffed with it. So Jerry really likes it already because he's a cat and cats like soft things, so more power to him. But he can't have it for now. Well, he can, but I'm going to take it at uni with me. And yeah, I think it's great. So I would definitely recommend this to learners of knitting who are just starting out and just want to learn how to change colours if you've not really done that very much, because it's really good practice. And this is quite thick wool as well, and so the needles I was using were 15mm. So again, if you need to practice, and that'd be a really good place to start. And as you can see, the kind of joins on the different colours, I messed up on one. It was this one I miscounted, so the join on that is on the wrong side, but it's okay, you can't really tell, and even if so, it doesn't really bother me. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this to beginners, and overall it's really nice. So thank you for going on this little journey with me. It's took me 2 solid days of knitting to finish, and I figured out towards the end that rather than using the needle to kind of like thread the ends in, it's just a lot easier if you use your hands and just kind of like push it through with your fingers. But lesson learned. So yeah, that's all for this, and I'll see you in the next one. If you try something like this, let me know and tell me how it goes. So yeah, have a good evening, and I will see you later. Bye guys.